Hello folks, it's David here. I'm the host of Heart and Hand, the Rangers podcast here on YouTube, and I'm coming to you after Rangers 5-5 draw. Yep, no, I'm not back on the gear. 5-5 draw at Easter Road with Hibs today, and also modelling the very natty new Heart and Hand hoodie with not stripes that you will find on any other shirt because that would breach copyright. Well, to today's game, it'll take better minds than mine to put that one into any context. Rangers were abysmal in the opening 25 minutes. They were 3-0 down, and to be honest, we could have easily at that point, the whole Hibs need 6 goals thing, at that point I would have believed it was possible that they could get them. And it was an abysmal performance from Rangers, completely overrun in the middle of the park. Hibs would get the ball out wide where our fullbacks couldn't stop anything coming in, and when it did, our defenders couldn't stop anyone from getting on the end of it. First goal was a penalty, the obligatory penalty against us. Of course it was a penalty though, and I mean, I'll hold my hands up. Wednesday night, disgraceful decision. This was a penalty. David Bates, my boy, a really stupid decision to pull back the striker in the box. He might have got ahead of him and scored anyway, who knows, but blatant penalty kick. And Hibs go 1-up. Terrific penalty, incidentally. The boy that they've got up front, the Swiss player, he looks a cracking player, incidentally. But they go a goal up, and they soon go 2-up because Rangers concede a really awful goal. Cross from deep, headed back in, and of course the striker's running in to get the touch. It was Scott Allen, a little shite who's been thoroughly de-Rangers-fied by his time at Parkhead and now at Hibs. He had a lot of time to learn at Parkhead because he didn't play very often. But into the culmination of that period, Rangers go 3-0 down. And again, it's a pretty similar goal, just a cross in from the right. Up pops the Hibs guy, who's only about 5'9", but he gets between our two big centre halves and puts it away. Look, Russell Martin is, as our podder Jack would have it, dug meat, and the guy isn't even a top 6 Scottish Football League defender. I have no idea, incidentally, what he was like when he was at Norwich. I didn't watch enough of him, saw him a few times, but very rarely. He is not good enough to play for a top 6 side in the Scottish Premiership, never mind for us. Thankfully he'll be gone. I must admit, Bates, who I've always stuck up for, had a horror show today. Maybe his mind was just on Hamburg, and no wonder after what we saw yesterday. It was all very dramatic, but it was getting dramatic there. Tav does really well. He's played poorly up to this point, but he gets us back in by making a run, playing a nice 1-2 and finishing to go 3-1, and that sucked the air out of the Hibs support, because I don't think they went into the game thinking they were going to win 6-0. After 25 minutes, there wasn't a person watching didn't think they could win 6-0, and maybe more. So that kind of deflated them a bit. Rangers then scored a lovely goal. Jamie Murphy with a perfectly timed pass to the onrushing Jordan Rossiter. Yes, I told you, I'm not back on the gear. Jordan Rossiter, who started, who takes a couple of lovely touches and finishes confidently. And then Rangers make it 3 each when Bruno Alves, who's come on as a sub for Sean Goss, who was awful, and Rangers got to a 5-3-2. And Bruno did well, he calmed everybody down, and that did seem to kind of settle us a bit. He steps up and hits an absolute cracker of a free kick over the wall and into the bottom corner. And we go in at half-time 3 each, going, what have we just witnessed? Second half, Rangers are now much more comfortable, we're in control, and we look dangerous in the break, and we score 2 more goals from breaks. Jason Holt gets in the end of it again, nice move. Jason Cummings, who isn't a lone striker, he's not very good at it, but he did his best today, he worked really hard. He knocks it to Jamie Murphy, who knocks it to, who plays it again, nicely timed, knocks it into, I'm a little breathless by the way, you try watching a 5 each like this and get your wits about you as quickly as this. And Jamie Murphy knocks it to Jason Holt, who puts it away via a deflection. And at that point, we're doing quite well. Jamie Murphy has stepped inside to play a more central role, and I think that suits him better because he's not the quickest, he doesn't really have the pace, but he does have good feet, and he was making a lot happen when the ball came to him. And Rangers are looking very comfortable. We then go make it 5-3, and at this point I'm thinking Hibs stand bill because we hit a shot from distance from Jason Holt. It hits off Josh Windass, who had the audacity to claim it, the only thing he did when he came on. And 5-3, all we need to do now, 20 minutes left, all we need to do is just make sure we don't let Hibs back into it. So we immediately let Hibs back into it with a shitey goal, of course. And then in the 95th minute, I think, 93rd, whatever, they score the inevitable banter years style equaliser, makes it 5 each. And Neil Lennon runs onto the park, starts celebrating a meaningless draw because that's what Neil Lennon does. And you won't hear any criticism. You remember criticism of us last season for over-celebrating a last-minute winner at Partick Thistle. You won't hear anything like that because it's Neil Lennon. And somehow he'll be a victim. I'm not quite sure how yet, but they'll find a way. And yeah, 5 each. Some strange performances. It's hard to give any ratings to any Rangers player because for the first half hour, they were awful. For the next half hour to 40 minutes, they were pretty good. And in the last 20, they were diabolical again. And it was just, you know, you can't call it typical end of season fare. I suppose you could call what happened at Parkhead that. Look, I don't have any problem with Celtic lying down to Aberdeen. Not sure if the shoe had been in the other foot. I wouldn't have wanted us to do the same. I probably would have because I always like us to win. But, you know, I could get why they wanted to do it. So we had 38 games to finish second and we didn't. And to be honest, second, third, we're just fans. It doesn't make a blind bit of difference, really. It's failure. And that's all we care about. So hopefully we will write off the banter years tomorrow. Hopefully that's the end of a lot of those players and we won't have to see them ever again, which will be pleasant. And Steven Gerrard will join up on June the 1st. Stevie fucking G, but. And it'll be fantastic and we'll look forward to that. But an extraordinary game of football and an extraordinary way to finish up the season. You saw everything in this Rangers team. We end the season as top scorers and we end with most goals conceded in the top 6, and that's been this Rangers team all season. Just you can't ever expect consistency from them. You don't even get consistency in a game, never mind in a month from them. Plus points today, Jordan Rossiter came back in. Team showed a bit of heart to come back from 3-0 down. Negative points. They got themselves 3-0 down and then they couldn't hold on to a 5-3 lead. It was what it was. It was a very, very strange game. Kind of disappointing to note that Hibs are another side who are now just repeating Celtic chants and Celtic songs and Ibrox disaster stuff from the Sheep. But again, you won't hear anything about that because it doesn't fit the agenda. But overall, end of a season that will not be much missed. There's been precious few highlights and an awful lot of lowlights. But we have hope, we have faith in the future, and we have Steven Gerrard. So if you would like to be I would say the belle of the ball, both sides. Yeah, don't that look good? Wearing this Heart and Hand hoodie. You can buy it in other Heart and Hand t-shirts and tops and whatnot if you go to heartandhand.co.uk. Nice and simple, heartandhand.co.uk. If you want to hear more from us, because I always say we've got our 2 free shows, a Monday and a Thursday. The Thursday one is stopped for the summer and the Monday one will stop for the summer in about a week or so. But we will continue to be on Patreon every day. We'll have loads and loads of coverage, everything that's happened at Rangers, historical shows about Rangers and World Cup coverage. That's patreon.com Heart and Hand if you want to go there. So that's everything from me. Thank you very much for listening to me all throughout this season. It's been most enjoyable and the numbers have continued to grow. So thank you. And I look forward to talking to you again after the first game of next season. And until then, take care. Bye.